Can you guys hear me still?
Outbound transmission.
Affirmative.
Yeah.
Crew ready?
Okay, just making sure.
Downstream stations online.
Linked and locked.
In 3, 2, roll show open.
Back on Southeast Sports Plus, and we're going to transition to the Alabama Crimson Tide. We talked to the, I almost said Austin Longhorns, for the goodness sakes, Texas Longhorns, as we roll through all parts of Next Star Nation. Roger Wallace a minute ago from Austin. We're going to head up 65 to Birmingham to chat with one of our good friends, Ariel Schaefer. Ariel, fresh in from Tuscaloosa. You were there this morning. Also, your alma mater, Ariel. Welcome into Southeast Sports Plus. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. Pleasure to be with you guys. You guys look great. The studio looks great. And yeah, just literally got back from Tuscaloosa like 5 minutes ago. So rushed right here just to join y'all today.
You are the best, girl. Perfect. We appreciate you. And listen, we know that Alabama rolling into week 2 of fall camp. And so things are very, very busy in year 2 under Kalen DeBoer. Before we get into anything specific, what did you notice different, Ariel, this year from maybe last year in Kalen DeBoer's first ever fall camp? What are you seeing this year? It maybe gives Crimson Tide fans a sign of like, hey, things are clicking, things are a little more comfortable.
Yeah, I think it's been awesome for the first 4 practices. The media has been able to have at least 20 minutes where we get to have
just by the way, that hardly happened under Nick Saban, by the way. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to say that did not exist for about 17 years in Tuscaloosa. Go ahead.
No, it didn't. That's one thing that's great about Kalen DeBoer. He really wants the media, and he trusts the media and wants us to be able to have that full inside access. Yep. And I think, we spoke about it at media days. When Alabama rolled in with the 3 guys and Coach DeBoer, there was like this unspoken confidence that they had, like very excited to not only show what Alabama can do this season, but also to prove a lot of people wrong and get back into that SEC title with the contention with that college football playoff, and then ultimately compete for a national title. And everyone just looks so smooth, fluid. Everyone knows where they're going, where their matchups are. They have the connection and the personnel and they're in sync too. And specifically, the secondary has been stood out to me mostly with being the most in sync this year. The guys understand their assignment. They understand the schemes by Coach Womack, but also offensively, it's going to take some time a little bit. They always say your offense is going to be one that's going to be most improved as the season does roll on. Don't expect everyone to be right where they need to be in the first couple of weeks, and they do have a new offensive coordinator in Ryan Grubb, but the defense, Simone, first impression, they look good. They look really, really good and really, really solid.
We know Kenny Womack's have them fired up there, G. No doubt about that.
No question. And you mentioned the guys that when they were at SEC Media Days, and we got a chance to catch up with Deontay Lawson. I know you caught up with Tim Keenan as well. Let's talk a little bit about that defense, because one of the things that Lawson said was that, hey, we all now know the verbiage. We all now know what to do, and you alluded to it, the fact that they know where to go in practice and everything else. How comfortable is this defense, and where are the strengths? Because to me, I see it on all 3 levels, but you've had that really close hand look there.
Yeah, no, and I spoke to Deontay Lawson today, and he said to me, maybe he didn't say it at media days, but he felt like he had to come back because he wanted to prove a point, and he had unfinished business at Alabama. It didn't feel right for him to go to the pros, despite having the injury. Didn't feel right for him to go to the pros because he wants to leave a lasting legacy at Alabama. And him and Justin Jefferson and Quay Rousseau in that linebacker room, my goodness, they are huge, number one. They are fast.
She's drinking the Kane Womack Kool-Aid. I'm just going to say that really quick, Ariel. You are drinking the Kane Womack Kool-Aid right now, girl.
This man shows up in a tracksuit at 110-degree weather.
Welcome to Alabama football, high school football coaches, and if you played at coached at Alabama, that is what you're wearing. I love it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We gotta get a hit on that, because my man, I said to him like, hey, is this like a feng shui type thing? He goes, I can't even spell feng shui. It's just something I just always have had. Like, it's
what's feng shui?
Feng shui is it's aesthetic, right? It's like an
aesthetic, yeah.
Okay, listen,
exactly.
All I can contribute to this conversation is that I'm married to a high school football coach. Twofold. One, it's a weight loss program, just naturally built in. You're out there running around. What he told me was that players cannot then complain about the heat because they are not dressed like that. So if you're in a sweatsuit and you're sweating, then it's like a mind. It's like a mind. It's like, listen.
Okay.
I am sitting here drenched in sweat, and I'm wearing twice as much clothes as you. You can't complain about how hot it is. That was like kind of like the mind game that the coaches are playing with players. So I mean, maybe that's Kane Wommack would not surprise me. That's the sort of thing he wants to get in their butt, no question about it, and that's the sort of thing he would do.
Yeah, no, and he said he will show up in that full tracksuit in Florida State when it's like 100% humidity on that first week on August 30th. He already did tell me that.
Yeah, love that.
The linebackers. Yeah, just like to go off of Gerhard's thing, the linebackers, the one thing that has been really specific and pushed out is that since, they had some injuries last year, obviously, with Deontay going down. But just in case something like that has happened again, also you lose Shahad Campbell, how is Justin Jefferson going to step up? How is Quay Russell going to step up? And also versatility for them to also be able to execute on the inside and the outside. That's one thing. Human beings. Yeah. It's just I feel short, and I'm almost 6 foot, and I just feel just so tiny standing next.
Ariel,
to
there's
them,
a reason that you were on the Alabama row team and that you were not in Alabama's question about that. Listen, okay, Ariel, we've been watching some of the offensive practice right now. We know that there's a little bit of a quarterback battle, if you will. I think that we understand where coaches are leaning in things, but when you think about who is going to be some of those weapons, one guy stands out, no question. Ryan Williams. As we know, EA Sports, two-time Mr. Football winner. We got him up close and personal for 3 years because, of course, after his junior season of high school, he said, deuces, I'm going to go play in college. He checked out really quickly, as we know. I think, first 2 catches were touchdowns there in Tuscaloosa. We knew he was going to be that guy, and he is. When it comes to what he can bring into his sophomore campaign, Ariel, what have you seen from practice? And then who's going to be throwing him the ball?
Yeah, I mean, it was so funny the first day that we got to see Ryan Williams. Of course, he was catching some one-handed crazy from like Ty Simpson. We're like, okay, he hasn't changed, he's back or whatever. But when I spoke to Ryan today, I asked him specifically, how does it feel to be the hunted? Do you feel like you're the hunted? Do you feel like you have a target on your back? He said the pressure is the
Sorry, I'm in your way.
And he took that really personally in the weight room this offseason, just really trying to build that muscle mass. We know how explosive he can be. Their strength coach, David Ballou, told me today that Ryan is just like speed. He's like 110%. He'll just go. But it was just more trying to strengthen him up and beef him up a little bit. Yeah. He likes to call bully ball and just be able to execute, not only just to stay stagnant, because he led Alabama in receiving yards last year. He led them in receiving touchdowns, but he only had 8 receiving touchdowns, which is kind of like crazy to think about because of his impact. You feel like he would have a lot more. Sure. But when I spoke to him, and we'll play the clip in a second, it was just wanting to not settle and just to be better because he does feel like he has a target on his back.
Yeah, let's take a listen to Ryan earlier today at Alabama's Media Day there in Tuscaloosa.
I mean, my whole life, that's really what it's been. I played at Sarah Land High School. We won the state championship. Came back the next year, went back to the state championship. So being a hunted has never been a problem. I mean, it's harder to be the hunted than, go be a hunter. So, it's just something, like I say, pressure is privilege. So just, it's not something that I'm focused on, but it's definitely a blessing to, be the hunted. This season, after last season, just being banged up a little, it's definitely something that I focused on, just because I know going into this year, I wanted to be on the other end of the stick. I wanted to play bully ball this year, and the training staff has done a great job helping out. The strength staff has done an amazing job just putting me in position to be able to, grow the way that I did, and just being able to have a full year's worth, of focus on, building my body it's been amazing.
Williams. The great thing about Ryan Williams is that that's exactly the same guy that we covered the last 2 years. And I know he finally turned 18, so that's something that we cannot talk about and hear about all football season. But he's that same guy. He had that type of maturity and that type of just complete disposition every single time that he met with us when he was in high school. And I think he also knows that there's a target on his back, Ariel, and that comes with, in the SEC, some physicality and guys taking that extra, like bump and grub when you get down there and, get a big catch and you're 50 yards downfield and, if there's 7 dudes piling up on you, it gets a little rougher there in year 2 when you were in front of EA Sports.
Absolutely. And he gave so much credit to just other guys in the wide receiver room. There's
Yeah.
so many younger faces that now we'll get to see more. I talked to Isaiah Horton today. He's a guy that has grown from his freshman to his sophomore season and feels more comfortable with the scheme, but feels like this receiver room is getting pushed by Ryan. Have the connection with the quarterbacks, because we all know there's a race going on. But there's, I mean, Jalen Hale, Jeremy Bernard. It's just, whoo, I think maybe we'll see a lot more air raid compared to years past and not just relying on the run. But that also does depend on how that offensive line is going to do if Bama could establish the run this year. So,
Absolutely. You mentioned Ryan Grubb, and I think that he's probably one of the most interesting pieces coming into this year, because everybody saw what his offense looked like at Washington.
Yep.
People saw a little bit what it looked like when he had some time in the NFL and places out west. But now he's coming into the SEC. He talks about how he's really hard on those wide receivers. What do you expect this offense to look like, and just some of the ways they'll be able to attack defenses?
Just more balanced. I think, when there was panic last year with Milroe and he couldn't really find any options downfield, or, had to run around in the pocket, it's just result was just to run. And that was just what he was known to do. It is no offense to Jalen Milroe or anything. He was a great player. He did great things for Alabama. But I really think you're going to start to see the mastermind behind Kalen DeBoer and the offensive strategy that he really had in Washington. And also, too, I think it makes a huge statement like, yeah, you're bringing Ryan Grubb in, but they kept Nick Sheridan on the staff to specifically work with the quarterbacks. And you think about the success that Michael Penix had with Coach DeBoer, with Coach Sheridan, and with Coach Grubb in that second year of Washington. I could definitely see you'll see a lot more offensive packages, some really cool schemes, the systems that maybe we haven't seen before. But I think the big thing too was establishing an offensive line, a big offensive line, and that's what Bama did this year. You have most of those guys coming back, and I just think you're going to see a lot more options. They're not going to be one dimensional. They're going to be more aggressive, but just more adaptive to the SEC, really.
Yeah, great stuff, Ariel. No question. The offensive line, similar to what we heard from Roger Wallace a minute ago there in Austin. Every single year, as a fan, sometimes you don't always pay a lot of attention to what's happening there up front, of course, until a guy gets sacked, and then everyone's pointing the fingers at the guys up front. But that is why that development and that continuity, when you can have guys coming back, that is certainly going to be helpful there for what's going on in Tuscaloosa. Ariel, great stuff. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to having you on the show as we get ready for week 1. Alabama will be at Florida State. So the Tide also going out of conference, of course, to kick things off there in week 1. But Ariel, great stuff. Thank you so much. Looking forward to hearing back from you as fall camp rolls on.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thanks so much. And am I allowed to say Roll Tide on here because I'm on the line?
You know what? Bring it on. Yeah. Gave us a good one.
Roll Tide. If I was a rower, it was Row Tide.
Row Tide. Row Tide. Next show, we're gonna need to get your headshot so we can see what it looks like. We're gonna need some highlights there from Ariel's rowing days there with the Crimson Tide. All right, good stuff. Ariel Schaefer, appreciate your time there in Birmingham with WIAT.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ariel.
Good stuff. We're going to keep it rolling here. Man, the first hour's flown by. Great stuff from Roger Wallace, Ariel Schaefer, as we talked Texas, Alabama. Much more to come here on Southeast Sports Plus. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
outbound transmission?
Affirmative.
Crew ready?
Check.
Downstream stations online?
Linked and locked.
In 3, 2, roll show open.
Back here on Southeast Sports Plus, a lot of great stuff in the first hour of the show, first ever hour. Gerhard, first takeaways from Texas, from Alabama, two teams that certainly have the spotlight going into this season.
I thought Roger was awesome because he was able to lay out what this team, that is now the number one team officially according to the coaches poll, will look like going into the year. And I think with Ariel, got a lot of really good insight about Ryan Grubb. I think a lot of people are questioning what this offense will look like. Obviously, still have to solidify a starting quarterback. I think everybody knows who they think it is. But then, of course, the star, Ryan Williams, and that's what you led with, deservedly so. The cover guy for the college football game. Got a lot of great insight there from the Crimson Tide as well. Expected to have another big year.
Yeah, and we have a lot more to come on the show. Of course, Patrick Walsh there behind the scenes. And Patrick, we're going to talk a little bit about Brian Kelly. What's he going to do in LSU? Listen, he was in the headlines over the last 24 hours or so because of the video that was put out by LSU. We'll get to some of that. I'm not sure you guys seen the practice video. I'll bring that up a little bit later. Good tease, Simone. But Patrick, takeaways from the first hour.
You know, it feels good that we've got this show going on.
You know what? Spoken like the guy who has hit all the buttons. So we're just sitting here talking. So he's behind the scenes going, listen, this is going so well. That's all I can say at this point. But a lot of great insight. And I think that one thing about the SEC is that we're proud of covering our programs closely, but also the friendships that we have throughout the entire conference. And we got to see that SEC Media Days and already in the first hour of this show, Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Roger was a great guest to have on. He's super knowledgeable, pulling out the Southwest Conference. I mean,
Gotta love it, gotta love it. And then Ariel, of course, as well, former student athlete there at Alabama, and good stuff overall. So we'll talk plenty more coming up. Get to Florida's quarterback situation, talk LSU, talk to Courtney Mims as we're calling the Hogs. That is just ahead on Southeast Sports Plus. Stay with us. We'll be right back.